Hello guys and welcome to my mid-year book freakout tag. So I'm actually filming this in my theatre room because I have this little man. Oh, this is our new puppy. His name is Kobe. We got him 3 weeks ago. I'll show you a little close-up of his adorable little face. So my parents are both working right now, so I am in charge of looking after him and also his big sister, actually his auntie, but we call them big sister because they're from the same breed, so they're related. So yeah, his name's Kobe. He's 16 weeks last Friday. It's Monday as I'm filming this. And he just got his last injections today, so we can go out for walks very soon. Oh, Cobes. I'll put some clips at the end of him being really cute because I have so many. But for now I'll put him down and I'll let him have a sleep. He's really tired after his injections this morning. Bless you. So today I'm going to start, oh, you can see a book in that one. Today I'm going to start with some stats. So I've got my laptop here. I'm going to talk about some statistics because I have a whole spreadsheet for my books because I'm a big nerd. So my first stat is how many books I've read, and I've read 24 books this year. I don't have all of them here because I'm not going to be talking through them individually, obviously, as I'm doing the tag. My goal progress, I aimed to read 30 books this whole year. So 24 out of 30 is 80%, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to pass my goal. Total pages read is 8,632, which just doesn't mean anything to me at all until I look at pages per day, which is 45. So that's not a lot, but I have had times when I've had to take like a couple weeks off. So when I had exams, I took a couple weeks off reading. I basically didn't read at all. And yeah, stuff like that. I also don't listen to audiobooks, so I don't get that quicker way of getting books in. Not that audiobooks aren't probably reading. I still consider it reading. I just cannot get it to go in my brain when I do audiobooks, so I don't listen to those. My average book length was 360 pages, which is about right. I like my books to be around 400 pages, so they're not too long, but I can still get a lot from them. That being said, I do have a 5 out of 5 here that's really short. Alright, so now we've got books in each genre. So I had, let's start with the biggest ones. I had 5 fantasy and 5 thriller. They were my 2 biggest. And then I had 4 sci-fi, 4 mystery, 2 romance, I don't really like romance, 2 classics, 1 non-fiction and 1 domestic fiction. I don't really know what domestic fiction is, but that's what it said that Little Fires Everywhere was. So if anyone else has any idea what Little Fires Everywhere is classified as, I'd love for you to tell me because I don't know what it is. In terms of star ratings, I had no 1 stars, which is great. For me, if I can finish a book, it's a 2-star. That's the lowest I'll go. If I actually can't finish the book, then I'll give it a 1 star. So there were no books that I couldn't finish. But I got 1 2-star, which I just didn't like. It was bad. 3 3 stars, 4 3.5 stars, 9 4 stars, and 6 5 stars. So 6 out of 24 is 20%? Let me check my calculator. 6 divided by 24. 25%. I can maths. Let's just pretend that didn't happen. Alright, so now we'll go to the author gender. So I've got 13 females and 11 males. Just keep in mind as well that my star ratings won't add up to everything else because I haven't finished the one that I'm reading right now. Kobe is eating something. I'll be right back. Okay, I have no clue what he was doing, but he didn't seem to be eating anything. And there's the other one, and she's gonna wanna come in. And she's gonna wanna be up because she wants to escape. Yep, here's the other good girl. Why do you hold your paws like that? Oh, so Kaya is 3, and Kobe is 16 weeks. I'm just gonna shut the door. This has been a whole mess. Okay, so we were up to author gender. So I had 13 females and 14 males. No, that's not right. 13 females and 11 males. So that's a 54 to 46 ratio. So just slightly more females. In terms of physical or digital, I don't really like digital books. She's just staring. So I prefer to read physical. So all of my books were physical, apart from one, which was like a free sample copy. And I didn't really like that book anyway. New or used? So I didn't really buy used books before this year. I preferred to buy all new. But this year I've read 14 new, 8 used, and 2 which were borrowed from my parents. I have bought a lot more used than I have new. Probably because I went to my high school. I just graduated. I went to their fair and I bought like 18 books for myself and 4 for my friend. But I bought 40 like overall. So yeah, it's just a lot. There. So those are all my statistics. So now we can actually get into the tag. So the first question, let's put my laptop to the side here. So the first question is the best book you've read so far this year. So this one is quite easy for me, and that is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This book is so beautifully written, and you can see all my tabs. That's more tabs than I think I've used in a while. This was actually the second book that I read this year, so I'm quite shocked that I found my favorite that quick. I can't explain how incredible this book is, but you just need to read it. I read this second after Where the Crawdads Sing, and I finished Where the Crawdads Sing, and I was going, oh my god, this might be my new favorite book ever. And then I finished this one and I was like, I think this one's even better. So I started the year really well, but this is amazing. It's about a circus that travels around the world, and it just appears randomly in different places, and it follows 2 main characters who are in like a secret, not a secret competition, but like they don't know who each other are, but they have to compete through magic. It's just incredible. Kobe, Alright, so that is my first one. The second question is the best sequel that you've read so far this year. So this, oh, and by the way, I gave The Night Circus a 5 out of 5, obviously. So the best sequel that I've read so far this year was Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman. This is actually the only sequel that I've read this year. So there's not much competition, but I did give it a 5 out of 5, so it was very, very good. There's a bit like less tabs, but this whole trilogy, I have it all right here. This whole trilogy was just incredible. I do not think I have read a better trilogy. So this trilogy, the first one is called Scythe. It's the Arc of the Scythe trilogy. I bought it last year, and I can't remember if I'd seen it around or if I just liked the look of it. I think I'd seen it around. And it's so good. It follows, the first book follows Citra and Rowan. Anyway, it takes place in a future society where no one can die and you have to be killed by a scythe. And the scythes are basically treated like gods because they practically are gods. So that's the first one. And I feel like the story develops so much. Like you get, by the end of it, there's so many characters that you can follow, and I loved all of them so much, even the bad ones. And they were just so well written. This whole series is incredible. So please, please read this if you're looking for it. It is a sci-fi, and it is a YA, but I still think everyone should read it. And I gave Thunderhead 5, and then Scythe and the Toll 4. Kobe, don't eat the carpet. And I have the box, and I like to keep my books in the box. I even buy trilogies as a box set because I prefer it, but they're so difficult to get back in. And I have to like not push them all the way in because I don't want my tabs to get damaged. I'm so picky when it comes to my books. Kaya's little face in the corner. What's the next question? Sorry, baby. Alright, the next question is a new release that you haven't read yet, but you want to. I don't actually have any of these with me, but one of them is ordered, and that is Lost in the Netherwoods by Aidan Thomas. So this is a Peter Pan retelling, and I picked it for my buddy read that I do every month with my best friend Ebony. So I've ordered 2 copies of that, and it's hardcover, and I'm so excited for it to come. It's coming, I think it said like the 5th of July. So we've talked about Lost in the Netherwoods. The next one I really want to read is Ace of Spades. I think that one has already been released. Oh yeah, that's the point of the question. Yeah, I think that's the point of the question. All of these have already been released. I don't know why I said that like it was a new thing. I can't remember a lot about this. I think it's a Dark Academia, which I really want to watch. Which I really want to read. I really want to get into Dark Academia. I did read a Dark Academia like last year, but I don't remember a lot about it. I don't think it was the most amazing one. But I just remember reading the synopsis and being really, really, really excited for it. So I definitely want to read that one. And then the other one I want to read is The Lost Apothecary. I've always struggled with that word. Which has been out for a bit, and a lot of people have read it and it had a lot of hype around it. So I want to read those three. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. The number one that I really want to read is Sally Rooney's new book, Beautiful World, Where Are You? I actually have normal people with me here right now, but I haven't actually read this. I haven't read any of her books, but I just kind of like know that I'm gonna love them. So I'm really excited for her new release. Because I wanted to read her books for a while, and then at the start of this year I saw that she was releasing a new one in September. So then I figured that I would buy it, so I bought this one. And I also want Conversations with Friends, and then I'll get Beautiful World, Where Are You? I don't know what it's about. I did read the synopsis the other day, and I did think that it sounded good, but I can't remember what it was about. And then the other one was The Grimrose Girls by Laura Pohl, I think. Have you got a tennis ball? Oh my god, my poppy voice is so embarrassing. Anyway, that one I didn't want the book by Sally Rooney to be my own most anticipated release. So I googled most anticipated releases for the second half of the year, and that was one that came up, and I really liked the synopsis, but I can't tell you what it is now because I've forgotten. Biggest disappointment is gonna have to be this one right here. Cinderella is Dead. This had so much hype around it. And I gotta say the cover is really gorgeous. But other than that, there's not a lot going for it. I think I'm getting to the point where I'm a little bit bored of most YAs because they all follow the same formula of like, person doesn't like what world they're in, person is different from everyone else, although they're just the same as everyone else, but they're actually different, but they're just the same. Person leaves, person comes back and tries to kill the person who's in charge and tries to make the world a better place. It just all follows the same formula. So this was really predictable. There wasn't a single plot twist, not even like a little one. I barely tabbed it. I tabbed it, what was that? Didn't like. Oh, and then the typical like, why do characters, they're always like, okay, maybe it's not in general, but Sophia, the main character of this book, she has like problems trusting people, which I guess makes sense through the world that she's been in and the trauma that she's encountered. But like, it's a bit too much, like to the point where there's a really obvious reason why someone's doing something, but they're like, oh no, it must be there against me. Like they must have tricked me, but it's really obvious that it's not. I mean, that wasn't like a huge thing. There was also some really big plot holes in this, like ridiculously big. I don't know if I should like talk about it. Tell you what, I will. I'll just put a spoiler warning right here. I'm about to talk about the huge plot twist, and I'll put an emoji or something, and then when you can skip ahead if you don't want to see it, and then when the emoji disappears, you know that I've stopped talking about it. Cool. Basically, Sophia runs away, and the king knows what she looks like and hates her. So he makes this new ball to like lure her back in. First of all, why would she come back? I mean, she does, but like, why would she come back? Why would that work? And then secondly, they send her back. She's dressed as like one of the normal girls, and they send her back and they have to train her how to use a knife to stab the king. But then like, why not just send the other girl? What's the other girl? Constance. Constance, no one's ever seen her. She doesn't even live in the kingdom, and she's very well trained with a knife. Why not just send her in? Because Sophia's gonna get recognized. Why not just send Constance in? That bugged me so much. That was one of the reasons why this was my biggest disappointment. So anyway, that one really irritates me. It just really irritates me. Oh, biggest surprise. So probably my number one biggest surprise is this beautiful little treasure, which is Bridge to Terabithia. I actually knew how this ended because in school we had like our houses would make little drama things and compete against each other, and one year they did Bridge to Terabithia, and I'd never seen the movie and I'd never read the book. So I knew that a certain thing happened. So I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it since I already knew the ending, but that thing actually happens quite late on in the book, so there was a lot of development up to that, and it was really short. How long was it? Oh my god, also there was a dog in it, and I love dogs. It was 142 pages, so it was really, really short, but it was so good. I didn't cry. I know a lot of people do cry, but I didn't cry. But the writing was really good as well. Also this copy is like really yellowed, and the typing is like kind of old stuff, and I love it. How much is this? Oh no, this one I think I got for 50 cents or $1 at my school's fair thing. And then the other big surprise is House of Hollow this one's by Catherine Patterson. This one's by Crystal Sutherland. Yeah, Catherine Patterson, Crystal Sutherland, both start with a K. Even though I most of the time see those names both spelled with a C. Anyway, I digress. House of Hollow was picked by my friend as the last, as May's buddy read pick. So she already had a copy, and we were at her house, and I was like, just, you can pick any book that you have, or we can say a new book that we'll buy, and she picked this one. And at first I was like, I don't know, because it sounded really weird, and I just didn't know how it was going to be carried on. Also, I'd seen loads of hype about it when the cover got released. People on TikTok would like stick flowers to their face as a like cover release, and then I heard nothing. So I was like, either it's really bad or people just forget about it. But it was amazing. It was so good. It's like that kind of mix between creepy and beautiful, and I loved it. Like everything in the book is that. The characters, the world, the cover, the writing. Creepy, beautiful. I loved it. It was so good. The first little bit, like the prologue, is what, a page, it's actually longer than I thought it was. 1, 2, 3, about 4 pages. And just so much happens in those 4 pages. So it's about these 3 sisters, and when they were really young, I think the youngest was 7. Iris is the main character who we're following. I think she was 7 when they disappeared, or maybe let me just check. Okay, I have absolutely no idea. But anyway, they disappeared when they were young, and then for a month, and then they just reappeared, and they couldn't remember what happened. And it's when the youngest one, Iris, is like 17. It's just so good. So it's about these 3 sisters, Grey, Iris, and Vivi. Iris is the youngest, Vivi's the middle, Grey's the oldest. And so they went missing when they were little kids, and none of them remember what happened. But then Grey goes missing again, so they have to try and find Grey, and it just sets them on this whole wild adventure. Oh my god, and there's a character, and he is just pure. He's just, I love him. It was so good. I was worried because it was like, the main character was like 17, and I was worried that it wouldn't be pulled off quite how I wanted it, like, because it was such a strange prologue. I was worried that it would be kind of a disappointing book because it's YA, and not that YA isn't great, but as I said, I was getting a bit annoyed by the same formula of YA just on and on and on. But this one was so unexpected. So green is plot twists, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plot twists, and so many quotes. I had to seriously cut down the amount of quote tabs I used, but it was just beautiful. And there was actually a couple of funny moments. It was really well combined with the casual language of a teenager and the language of the author. because you get sometimes the character would say something that matched more the author's language, and then sometimes they would say normal teenage stuff, and it was often quite funny. So yeah, I really liked it. I've been recommending it to everyone, this one. Obviously got a 5 out of 5, and so did Bridge to Terabithia. Have I been giving my ratings for the other ones? Oh, Cinderella is Dead got a 3, so it wasn't my 2-star read, but it was my most disappointing because I didn't have a lot of expectations for the 2-star, but I had a lot of expectations for that one, so that was quite disappointing. I think that's all the ones I need to give ratings for. Turn my laptop on. That was biggest surprise. Favorite new author is Neil Shusterman, number 1. Not like number 1, but like one of them is Neil Shusterman, who wrote the Arc of the Scythe series, and Erin Morgenstern, who wrote The Night Circus. Erin Morgenstern also wrote, what's it called? Oh, Erin Morgenstern has another book that I need to read. I keep thinking Strange the Dreamer, but that's Leonie Taylor. But it's got like a moth or a butterfly or something on it, or a bee. Is it a bee? Oh, Starless Sea. The Starless Sea, I think, is the other Erin Morgenstern one that I need to read. And then Neil Shusterman has a new thing out, maybe, I think. Or am I getting that mixed up with Phil Stamper? I don't know, it's a whole thing. Newest fictional crush. Now, I actually don't have a great pick for this, to be honest. See, I was gonna say Marco from The Night Circus, and I'm still gonna go with that. But I also want to mention Leon from The Gravity of Us. Now, Leon is gay, and I am straight, and a girl. So, like, I'm not saying it would work, but I love Leon. He is such a beautiful character. I also like Cal, who's the main character. That one's Cal, and that one's Leon. But, I don't know, just something about Leon. He's just so casual, but then he's also deep, and I just love him. But I also really like Marco, but he's more of like a mysterious, like a crush, not like an actually... If they existed in real life and I could pick one of them to like be serious with, it would be Leon, because Marco's, like, you would never be serious with Marco. I feel like I'm not making any sense. And the next one I think is newest favorite character. Yes, newest favorite character is Citra from Arc of the Scythe. She is so badass. She's super smart. She does whatever the hell she wants. She leads the way. She's just incredible. I also really like Rowan, but he's not quite as good as Citra. Book that made you cry. I actually don't cry a lot. I think 2 books have made me cry no, 3 have made me cry in my entire life. I don't cry at books, like barely ever. But I have cried at 1 book this year, and that was The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. Did I get that the right order? I did. That took some practice. This is by Charlie Mackesy, or Charlie Mackesy, I'm not sure how to say it. And I got this for my 18th birthday from my cousin, who apparently has been buying everyone a copy because she just loves it, and it is really beautiful. Let me just cover up the message, but that's the end papers. They're so pretty, and they're on the other side as well. It up there because that's kind of a spoiler. But the artwork is so pretty. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. And I don't know what page it was that made me oh, this one. This page. Every single page can be used as a quote. Again, this is kind of a spoiler, but I'm going to read this page out. This is the page that made me cry. What do we do when our hearts hurt? Asked the boy. We wrap them with friendship, shared tears, and time till they wake hopeful and happy again. And that made me cry. There was some really good pages, but that one got me. I want to get, you can buy prints, and I don't know if you can buy prints of every page, but if you can, I want to get that. But there's also like such a mix of artwork, because you get like that kind of scratchy stuff that I just showed you, and then you get some of this gorgeous like shadow kind of stuff. Oh, it's so pretty. Yeah, I just love this book. I need to read it again. I read this in like half an hour, but that did make me cry. Other questions? Book that made you happy. That's where this one comes in. I don't read a lot of like feel-good books because I find them boring. I prefer to have my heart broken. And I don't read a lot of romance. This is the second romance I read, and the first one was the 2-star. But this one was amazing. It's about Cal, who I think he's just finishing. He's in his last year of school in America. I don't know what they call that. It's a senior, I'm assuming. Why is he? Anyway, so Cal is a senior and his dad actually gets selected to be on like a team for going to Mars, like a secondary team. So he has to move to Houston, Texas, I believe, and becomes an astro kid, it says on the back. And he's actually a social media journalist, so he uses this social media app to vlog and stuff, but he does it on like non-fictional stuff. Like he's trying to be a journalist. It's just a really great story. Cal and Leon are the cutest couple in the world. That's them on the front. The artwork on the front is actually really stunning as well. But yeah, it's so good. And I also saw a tweet from Phil Stamper, the man who wrote this. He's really funny. There was just a tweet that said like, I just got my author headshots and I'm pleased to say I'm still amazingly good looking, or something like that. It was probably a lot funnier when I read it. But there's also these really cool like chapter titles, and then there's like when you have some interviews and stuff, it says like Shooting Stars season 1 episode 6, and it's got like a whole transcript and stuff, so it's a little bit of mixed media, but most of it's just normal prose. But yeah, that one was really good. That one made me happy. Most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. So I've got 2. The first one is this gorgeous collector's edition of Six of Crows. I haven't read this yet, because I actually haven't read the Shadow and Bone trilogy yet, which I just got a few weeks ago. But I know that I'm gonna like Six of Crows, so I bought the collector's edition. At the end paper, the map is really pretty, and then at the back there's the artwork of the characters. There's a wolf in that one, and I love wolves. Obviously, I don't know anything about the characters. I know Kaz is he the one that everyone has a crush on, or is he the one that everyone hates? Honestly, I have no clue. I've never heard of these characters, so obviously they're not the big ones. I think Kaz and Inej are the big ones. I've always thought that the name Inej looks like when you do those like personality tests. It looks like one of those. Yeah, this will be my first book that I read by Leigh Bardugo, so I'm really excited. Oh no, it won't, because I'm going to read Shadow and Bone first. But this was the first book that I bought by Leigh Bardugo. So I'm very, very excited for that. And I will also be buying the Crooked Kingdom collector's edition, even if I hate this, which I don't think I will, because I need both of them. Also sprayed edges. I love I think this is my only book with sprayed edges. Oh, actually this one has silver. This is the other prettiest book that I've bought this year, which is The Grimm's Fairy Tales. I've wanted a copy of this for a long time. I haven't read any of them, but there's some really nice illustrations. On the back, there's like oh, there we go. You can kind of see the shine. It says, "Mirror, mirror, tell me true, who's the fairest, tell me who." And it's just really pretty. The shimmer's not coming through and it makes me really sad. And that is the end papers. It's the same on the other side. Yeah, let me find another illustration for you. There's another little illustration. So yeah, they're really gorgeous. And then the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I believe that is in my entire physical TBR. But I have some selected ones. The first is Normal People. Obviously, I actually need to read this before September because I need it for her 3rd book. So I need to read Conversations with Friends as well. So that's one of them. The other one is the other 3 ones I bought really recently. So I bought The Secret History, which I know is like the original Dark Academia, or like one of the main Dark Academias. So I'm excited to read that. I don't really have much to say about these because I honestly don't know what this is about. Or really Normal People. I just know it's about like a friendship relationship, but not a relationship, like just a friendship. And then I've got Piranesi, And Piranesi is actually another one of the most gorgeous books I've bought this year. Let's take that off and show you. It says Piranesi. It's got that, and then the end papers are like this. And I believe this is about like a man stuck in a house that like never ends, I think. Yeah, I don't really know what it's about, but my friend Ebony read it and she said it's really good. And then the last set I have to read is, which way does this go? The Shadow and Bone trilogy. Obviously the show just came out and I really want to watch it. And I've been wanting to read this series for a while. I actually got a spoiler on TikTok though, and it was for the red one, and I was trying to figure out if the red one was the second or the third, and it's the third. So I'm really sad about that. Also these books have the weird like lip, and I've never owned a book like that. And I don't know if I like it or not. A lot of people hate it. Anyway. What are the animals? There's a deer, and then there's some dragon thing and some phoenix thing. Why is the deer the only not like mythical creature? Anyway, so this is gonna be my first book by Leigh Bardugo. This is about, no, the Six of Crows is about 6 friends that, or not friends, 6 people who rob a bank or something. Can you tell I know nothing about these? I know there's powers, there's magical powers because I've seen the trailer for the show. But that is the extent of my knowledge. So yes, that is pretty much the end of the video. I'm also just going to show you my current read once I can get this back in the box. Alright, finally, we have a lot of books and they're all covering my current read. Okay, this is my current read. I'm reading Dune in June. This is by Frank Herbert. It is like, it says it's like one of the original sci-fi. Before The Matrix, before Star Wars, before Ender's Game and Neuromancer, there was Dune, one of the greatest science fiction novels ever written. I am really enjoying it, but it is very dense. There's like no chapters. When it's split up, the chapters don't like end the page and start the next one. It just like, that's the end of one section and that's the start of another one. And there's a lot of words that like you don't know because there's a literal glossary at the back. So it's a little bit difficult to read, but I do like the plot. I'm here. That's the start. So I've read, I think it was like 42% or something on my Goodreads. I have been reading it for a very long time. I've started reading it on the 4th, it's now the 21st, but I did have my exams during that time. So I think I started on the 4th and then like didn't read it again until I finished exams, which was on the 18th. So I've actually read quite a lot in a short amount of time, but I've started reading a long time ago. But it's about a boy called Paul, and his father is a duke in this universe, and they go to live on a desert planet where spice is mined, and spice is like, I don't know how to describe it. It's not like a drug, but like, it just says spice is the most valuable and rarest element in the universe, and it can only be found on a single planet, the inhospitable desert world Arrakis. Whoever controls Arrakis controls the spice, and whoever controls the spice controls the universe. So his father, the Duke, moves from Caladan, their original planet, to Arrakis, and faces a lot of war because people want to also control the spice. Sorry if you can hear my dog chewing. He's being a bit bad. But yes, this was me and Ebony's June pick for the book of the month. So I do need to finish this by the end of the month, which is why I included it in some of my book stats. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys, if you want to let me down below what the best book that you read this year so far is, I would love to hear that because I'm always looking for new book recommendations, even though I have a million books that I am yet to read. I hope you're having a great day or night, and bye.